Fulham Pier development has been extremely exciting for us to be involved in at Somfy. What excites us the most about this development is that it crosses the numerous sectors that we work in the commercial space, but you've got everything in one building. So the design phase is really important for us to be involved in at the initial early concept. And why it's so important is because it allows us to truly understand what the client is looking for at that time. We can then start to create solutions that match the needs and the benefits. So from our perspective, it was being able to educate and advise and talk around the benefits of a dynamic solution, control match with fabric and end product, and that connected piece. So one of the lovely design elements we've got here at Fulham Pier is a lot of glass, and with that potentially provides a challenge of overheating. The dynamic solar shading solution can play its part in reducing that. And that's really important when you do look at quite a big space because it can have a significant impact.
The daylighting is something which is the jewel in the crown. It's the thing that you need to look after. The prime aspects that we have here of the views and the river and the daylighting, we need to control that, and if you can do that in as seamless way as possible by using technology and the advancement of controls, so that the building is morphing very carefully between one mode setting and another so that it's controlling the internal environment, that's absolutely paramount for making sure that we get a constant feeling across the floor plate.
Well, it's really important to be able to scene set throughout the day, and this stand sits on a beautiful piece of real estate on the River Thames in this really peaceful and wonderful location. We also happen to face the setting sun each day, and so you know that technology and being able to use blinds technology was really important, was always going to be critical here, so that we can offer the best views of the river that we possibly can at the optimal times, but also keep the guests comfortable when the sun is very, very low in the evening. And also they offer that sort of really beautiful diffused light through the building, which helps to create a really homely sort of cozy atmosphere at those times of day. So they're super important. They're certainly as integral as lighting control technology, temperature, anything else these days. These are a really important part of the overall aesthetic scheme.
We always look at two things from our solutions. The first is how does it impact the building from an energy perspective and from a building perspective, and the second is how does it impact the occupants within that space. We're very cautious and mindful that education piece is vital at handover to provide people with the knowledge of how the system works. I think sometimes with technology things can be seen as scary, and we try and really make it as simple as possible.
Things that Somfy have advanced is enabling that control of energy usage to be carefully balanced. The work that Somfy have done to integrate their technologies into this is naturally coming together without it being forced technology. So it's not informing our design decisions, it's working with our design decisions. Having the control over that is something which is incredibly important.
It's not just the technology itself, but it's the ability to work with a partner that can help advise on the aesthetic look, the impact on the room, also right down to the kind of the quietness of the motors and making sure these things move almost silently.
So for us, one of the big things is having an in-house team to deliver. And that process of guiding the client right from design stage to handover is really important, and our in-house teams are absolutely critical to making sure successful delivery. I don't think there's another development like this one in the UK, and that's one of the reasons why it's so exciting for Somfy to be part of this project.